Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me again today. It has been a more active week in doing readings, as I have done a couple this week already, but I feel good. It feels like I am back where it feels familiar to me, with this beautiful connection and touch and on point with spirit. I feel a Christ-like energy today. Maybe it's because it's Sunday, I don't know. But whatever day you view this or listen to it, it is the right day for you. I totally believe in divine intervention, intuitive, being guided to the right message at the right time for you. And while I do say that today is March the 12th, it is also timeless. So whenever you hear or view this reading, it is right for you. Take a moment, please, to sort of, if you can, put your hand on your heart. Don't take your hand off the steering wheel if you're driving, though. Breathe in and out, and allow the energy to move the way it should through us, clearing out the way for beautiful energy to receive this beautiful message from Spirit with love and light to all of us on this beautiful day, in this moment, and whatever moment's going forward, apply to this message. Thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful message coming in and for helping me deliver it to everyone, including myself. May we apply it where it needs to and go on our journey with love and light and appreciation. So today, guys, I feel inspired to do a divine reading. And I call it divine because it is, I feel like Sundays are more spiritually inspirational to all of us. And I like to dedicate Sundays to that type of message. The weekday messages and maybe the Friday or Saturday messages can be more of kind of what's coming or any other, whatever the Spirit wants to tell us. But I feel like today is more of a sacred message. So I feel like the decks being used today should be the Divine Animal Oracle, Sacred Spirit, the Daily Crystals, and the Divination of the Ancients. I was feeling very connected to that one this morning as well. Excuse that noise. I'm just adjusting my chair. It feels like there is a special connection today between your angels and you. Some of you may be feeling the presence of someone who passed. Some of you are more open to that, but it does feel as if there is a sort of collaborative support system here for all of us. It feels like today feels more connected, as if we don't feel loneliness or separation or something, whatever it is you're going through. Today feels more connected, like there's more of a maybe like there is sort of a loving celestial heavenly, whatever you want to call it, type of love, like rays of sun coming down upon us. That's what it feels like to me today. And this message is meant to be inspirational and loving. And so I will say what comes in and what I feel in regards to this. Some of you, I feel like you feel love and you can't quite define it. Like what, it's just go with it. Let it flow. Let it be within you. It's love. Let me tell you something. I feel like some of you are earth angels or some sort of healer that has traveled through lifetimes. And by the way, these messages are for everyone. And if something comes through that you're not familiar with or doesn't sit well with you, then I respect your decision to move on to another channel or whatever, but because I respect everybody's individual beliefs. As long as they're of good and light, you're welcome here. Okay? So it feels like a very ancient energy here today with all of us. It feels like just this, it's almost like I feel like there's some sort of mission of love right now. And it almost feels like have you ever seen those documentaries? It might have been Wild Kingdom years back, or it could be, I don't remember, but if you ever see those where, say, like a lion, someone who studied lions or whatever, and they established a rapport, a relationship with a lion from the time of the lion's birth or whatever, it's almost like, so when his or her training is done with that lion, they go on their way to something else, but then they come back to visit, and that lion never forgot them. So that lion comes rushing up and gives the trainer a welcome. I don't know about you, but if I saw a lion rushing me, I'd probably just fall over from a heart attack. But it's that kind of energy. It's like, it's emotional because it's so much love. Okay. It feels like the kind of love, like God's love, a divine creator's love, so much love that you can't fathom it. I also feel that somebody has sort of not drifted away from their calling, but maybe you haven't been as active in your calling. Well, it feels like you're coming back. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're coming back to that familiarity, that love that you have for your calling. And for some of you, it feels like you're being called, and it feels like love, overwhelming love. That's what it feels like to me. So I'm going to start with the Sacred Spirit reading cards, and let's see what Spirit has to say to all of us right now, huh? What is it, Spirit? What would you like to say to all of us? Yes, I'm the student too. And it is my calling to allow messages to flow through me so that we can learn from all of them, all the messages. Thank you. Funny, because before this card popped out, I was thinking of it. Open intuition. Okay. There is a beautiful wisdom or knowledge coming in. There's something that is becoming more clear. An understanding of your calling as a healer, an understanding of your calling as a being of light, a spiritual being of energy. There is a calling. There's some sort of something that you might have stepped away from because you were either not clear on something, or you had to go through something in your path that maybe might have slowed you down from your calling. There's always a reason, guys, and it feels very sacred. I always come back to that story of Master Jesus, who took 40 days and nights to re-energize, to sort of recalibrate his energy, and to seek wisdom and understanding. And that's what it feels like some of us have gone through with this period of like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing because something doesn't feel like I'm doing enough. And that feeling of not feeling like you're doing enough is to me an indication that that you have a calling that is still very much alive. It's there. But sometimes we have to take a little bit of a pause or what feels like a step back in order to re-energize ourselves, in order to gain clarification on something, in order for the energy to move through us and shift things and change things. And it feels very, it feels Christ-like, it feels heavenly. It is a very sacred energy, guys. So Spirit is telling us, you are open, psychically for some of you, to hear, to see, to feel some sort of clarification in some area of your life that's sacred, okay? There's something here for all of us in some way, shape, or form. Now, not all of you are healers. Some of you do other things on this earth that are very practical and very necessary. And so your expertise is also a blessing. And it does help others. I've seen some really talented or really gifted people that are intuitive, and I tend to look at more of the spiritual readers. Every once in a while I like to see and listen to the tarot card readers, because some of them, they just really know their stuff. Astrologers, they know their stuff, some of them. So it's interesting. We all have different callings for different things, and for me, I'm more of the angel card reader, in touch with the angels and spirit guides and those who have passed over. Is there anything else in this deck, please? For right now, I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to go to the divination of the ancients, because I believe that there is some sort of message regarding a divine gift. Oh, that's funny. When I open up the deck, a red fabric. I don't know what that is. Leaf. It could be a heart. Maybe it's a heart. It fell out. So that is a sign to me that represents love. Let's see what the ancients have to tell us. Something's coming in, guys. Something's coming in regards to something sacred within yourselves. The ornithromacy, I think that's how you say it. It's an ancient. Let me see. This one I have to look up, because I'm not familiar with that one too much. It is kind of a new one that I haven't seen, or it hasn't come up before in any of my other readings, I don't think. So there is, yes, this is saying your intuition has been telling you something, and you haven't really wanted to pay attention, because it involves a decision, it involves an action that you're not really wanting to take the action. And I think you know what that is, but you're not ready for that. Or you weren't. I will read this to you. Be alert for the signs all around you. You have not heeded your internal alarm. So this flight of bird comes to warn you that you are in the process of making a huge mistake. You may be flying high at the moment, but you could fall quickly and suffer a very nasty bump as you land. Already you've been swept away, but never fear. It's not too late to get back on track. Now see, I feel like this was in the past. And this card is telling you you're getting back on track now. You might have been swept away by drama, by something going on in your life, your personal life, or work life that really distracted you. But it feels like you're getting back on track now. Ask yourself what resonates with your truth and integrity. Take action accordingly. Soar freely above the commitments you've made. Liberate your mind and heart to allow your soul to take off. You know what, guys? I feel like these birds, this card represents flight. It represents freedom. For some of you, I feel like you've forgiven yourself or moved past something, a judgment or a mistake that you made in the past, or something that you did that you're not proud of. It could be money matters. It could be, I don't know, someone you got involved with. It could be anything that took away your light or damaged your, dampened your, because I'm getting a vision of headlights in the nighttime, but they're dim somehow. So it's hard for you to find your way. So that's what I was thinking. That's what I was feeling. Like you may have been in a situation where you've been thinking a lot and not using your skills to find your inner voice, or a inner voice, because I think you were afraid to hear the answer. That's what I feel. It feels very much like, and this isn't meant to be negative, guys. This is meant to be positive, because I feel like I said, a lot of you, this could be your sign to not go forward with something. For some of you, this could be your confirmation that something that you went through, something that you did, took away from your healing, your calling for healing or teaching or something like that. So there's two scenarios here, two sides, it feels. But the real message here, guys, is don't ignore your intuition. Messages or signs. Think before doing anything that will take you from your true path. Someone is not being honest. This is not a time for new ventures. Do not move. Oh, so they're saying, so this is what Spirit is saying here. Yes, there is a time for new beginnings, and I believe it is now. But I think what Spirit is trying to say here is there could be some of you who are not wanting to listen to your truth. And so you've chosen to make excuses, and I'm sorry, this is not a judgment, I'm just saying what's coming, to avoid pain or discomfort, or for some of you, maybe even retaliation. You're trying to avoid. Hold on. It almost feels like some of you want to blow the whistle on something or someone at work. And it feels like Spirit is saying, your best option is to move forward and move on. Guys, and I always say this, unless this is something that you know that someone broke a law or they did something that was really awful and you need to come forward. This feels more like cattiness, almost like coworker or colleague drama. It's almost what that feels like with me. And it's like Spirit is saying, I'm not telling you to be a martyr. I'm saying that the best path forward is to move on, up and out. Out and up, because once you move out, you go up in integrity, up in, haha, abundance. Look at that, coins. So it feels like whatever that message is about maybe delaying your growth or path going forward by not listening to your intuition. Spirit is saying it's time to not even cut your losses, but, well, actually, yeah. So cutting your losses and moving forward. And it does feel like career. It feels like you could have a business partner. You could be in a place of employment that is, wow, this hits home a lot. You could be in a place of employment that you just don't feel quite right. Something doesn't feel right. And some of you have been delaying moving forward or moving out because you've established connections. Wow, that hits home to me. You've established connections and you don't want to feel bad leaving these people. But the greater piece of this is that it's not healthy for you. And people maintain friendships all the time after leaving a workplace or whatever it is you're thinking of leaving. For me, it feels like career. Is there anything else, guys? Because once you do that, abundance comes in a lot of ways. Peace. You might feel an initial emotional upset. You know, you've established relationships with people, like I said. But it's a small price to pay for the abundance that comes in for moving forward and being brave, okay? Some of you have been wanting to start your own career and you haven't, or your own business, you haven't taken that leap of faith yet because, like I said, you're emotionally tied to a workplace or you're afraid to kind of let go. You know that song by Carrie Underwood, Jesus Take the Wheel, that came in just now. Jesus Take the Wheel. I can't do this on my own, is what I'm hearing. Jesus Take the Wheel. So it's you need help. We all need help from our guides for strength to make a decision, strength to take action on that decision. And it feels very much like it's not going to be as hard as you think to move on. That's what it feels like. I feel like your energy here, this card, the pendulum card comes out, the decision card, right? What I feel with this, with the pendulum, is it feels like feel into your own energy on this decision. Yes, you know, people get opinions and advice from people all the time. A lot of people go to family members for that. But Spirit is saying, okay, but the decision is yours. The action step is yours, not someone else's. And please avoid taking action steps based on what someone else thinks you should do. Listen to your own heart. If you notice with pendulums, we place them over our hand, the palm of our hand, and we allow the energy to move the pendulum in a positive or negative way. But it picks up on our energy, our own internal energy, our energy, right? Your own. And so, like I always say, stay in your lane. Spirit is saying, trust your own voice, okay? It's nice that others want to put their 2 cents in, and believe me, they do. And they mean well. Most people mean well. But it is your decision, your action step, your path forward. Yeah, so here I'm going to, because I'm not as familiar with this deck, I am going to look at some of what the description is in the book, but for me, I just gave you my opinion, right, on what that is. There are many paths before you, some that promise to fulfill your desires, and some that others in your life would bid you to take to fulfill theirs. What did I just say, right? It is important for you to decide exactly where you want to go and whom you want to be in this lifetime. For you and not for anyone else. There you go. Confirmation of what I just said. The universe is giving you the choice. Ask yourself, which path will lead to wholeness? Which path deceives? Choose carefully, for the answers are not being presented clearly to you at this time. You would be wise to call upon the pendulum, and I'm going to say your inner voice, to assist you with your decision, for it will surely show you the truthful way. Always listen to your own voice, guys. You can, if you're familiar with the pendulum and you're in a neutral place. Don't use your pendulum when you're upset. Use it when you're in a neutral space, okay? Your pendulum will show you the truthful way. Your pendulum is your own energy. And in my opinion, your own voice, okay? Do not take this lightly, as the wrong path could detour you from your destiny. Right. To the question asked, what answer will show? Circle or swing? I do not know. But answer true, it will foretell, and that way I too shall swing as well. And so, if you are a pendulum user, go to your pendulum, do some breathing exercises before you ask your questions, and listen to your own energy, okay? Just like I said, seek your answers from within rather than from another. Trust your own wise counsel. Be more discerning. Don't take others' advice at face value. Release guilt and focus on what's best for you. A major decision will need to be made soon. Okay? It feels very telling. This is not a hard one to figure out, guys. Spirit is saying, you may even feel overwhelmed with everybody's opinion on something. And you know what? It's okay that people give you opinions. What matters is what decision you make. So I can't emphasize that enough. This decision is not minor. It feels like a very important decision for a lot of you. Let's ask I want to use the crystals too. The crystal healing cards. I'll put those like that for now. It feels, yes, you're going to go within. You're going to find your own light. Sometimes we have to feel our way through to get to our own voice because there's so much other energy around us that we've, when we come into other people's paths or feel other people's energy, believe me, I feel it. So it's like not having shocks on a car. On a car, when you're driving, you feel every bump and crack in the road. And so for me, I'm that kind of person where I feel everybody's energy, whether they're sick, whether they're not in a good mood, whether they have a headache, I feel everything, trust me. I was talking to somebody one day, and my head started hurting big time. And I said, do you have a headache? And this person, I usually don't share my gifts with people at work because it's work, but this person was like, how'd you know that? I said, I don't remember what I said. I think I said, I just noticed that you were uncomfortable. But see, it depends on the person. Sometimes I'll talk about my gift and other times I'll just not. Because I know it's just not going to be a pleasant experience. Some people just don't really feel comfortable. So, here, the blue agate card pops out. If you have blue lace agate, or if you have that healing stone, awesome, use it, because it does promote calmness. And if you don't have it, maybe look up pictures of it and just look at it and kind of look at it and just kind of breathe with it. But if you can find one, get one, because they're really good with promoting calmness. And so I think right now a lot of us need that calm energy to help us. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because if you're when you have an upsetting situation, it's really hard to make a decision on something. It's really hard to think straight. Believe me, I know. I've had some experiences, where I've had to make a decision on something and I just couldn't think because I was distraught. These healing stones actually do promote calmness, so it's important to have them around. And for me, I sleep with mine next to my bed because it's important that I experience the healing energies that they give. What else, guys? Is there anything else? That's the stone, I think, that is, that Spirit is saying, that energy is sort of beckoning you to, for healing, promoting healing. And to be in the right energy so you can think for yourself, okay? So you can hear your own voice. I want to look at the Sacred Spirit cards again, because I feel like that healing stone, like that's the message about the healing stone was important. But I'm going back to this because it feels like there is some sort of interesting. Okay, look at this. This is interesting. 2 cards: illusion and certainty. This is what was. You were in some sort of funk or fog, and you had these. You didn't want to. How do I say this? You felt that where you were or where you are, it was right for you, and maybe at one point it was, but that chapter ended, and now it's time to move forward. So it feels like you were sort of in an illusion, in a fog, and we were kind of thinking, yeah, this is my forever place. I'm going to stay here. It doesn't matter. You know what? Maybe someday my boss will respect me enough, or maybe someday I'll get that promotion that I feel I deserve, or maybe someday things will improve. And but I don't have the energy to move on to someplace else because I feel overwhelmed from years of expectations not being fulfilled. And so you kind of just waved the white flag and said, I give up. You know what? I'm just going to embrace what it is and stay. That's it. I just don't have the energy to move on. I don't have faith in other people anymore. From what my boss has exhibited to me with favoritism or whatever it is, I just don't feel good anymore about being here. But what's out there for me is scary. I don't know if I'm going to get the same pay. I don't know if I'm going to get. So there's so many things that were keeping you stuck, right? Not just in your career, whatever situation this is and whatever applies to you. But then certainty comes in. It just amazes me how these cards go hand in hand. It just amazes me. And so certainty comes in, and you make that decision. And I think you're going to be surprised with yourself for making that decision and feeling like you didn't think you could ever do that, right? Let me just see what it says here. Yeah. So you were deceived, and I feel like you were sort of, maybe someone didn't actively deceive you. It could have been you deceiving yourself about your worth. You're worthy of far more than where you are. And it feels like you've outgrown that position, that place of employment. And so that's what it feels like. It feels like you were just hopeful every year after year, month after month, hopeful that something was going to turn out beyond your expectations and you were going to be happy. But it feels like that might not be the right place for you anymore. And it's hard for you because it's a feeling of sadness. It's a feeling of being let down. But let me tell you something. That feeling of being let down, you've got to release it. You've got to let that go, because sometimes things end for the best so you can move on to something much, much better, right? To me, it feels very much like a gift, a reward, a blessing for you to move forward. And I know it's hard to let go. And I always say to people, don't just up and leave and not have something planned out, because it is very, how do I say this? It's risky, but it's also, especially if you have a family, you've got to try to plan ahead for this, okay? Even if it means that you shadow or you learn something about someone's business so you can have your own. And even working towards that goal of having your own business or changing or finding a new job or finding contacts that somebody might point you in the right direction. It could take, a little bit of time, but I feel like that's okay, because that gives you, that kind of changes the energy around the situation. You no longer will feel stuck. You won't any longer feel as if you're not good enough. Why did that person get promoted and me not promoted, and me, I'm still the same? Why? Because the universe has something planned for you that's greater. Because within yourself at some point you ask for something amazing and beautiful. And whatever it is, whatever you're doing right now doesn't feel like that's it. Okay? And then the certainty card. What is that? Let me just look at it real fast. It looks like, I'm just going to read this one, okay? If your days are filled with aimless activity and your head is filled with pointless internal chatter and inconsistent plans, stop a while and turn down the volume. See, when you give in to rest or into your own energy, listening to your own voice, right? To the advice of your guides, everything becomes more clear. And you move into a space of certainty rather than, just settling. I'm certain that I'm worthy of more. I'm certain that this isn't for me anymore. I'm certain and determined to move into something greater and allow the universe to work with me to bring it in. Yeah, see the incantation here. The clutter in my mind's a den, so I'll meditate, journey in, surrender to silence, and listen well, to guides who wait with truth to tell. So your guides are waiting for you to clear the path in your head, so it can match your heart, so your voice can tell you, so you can hear the certainty, the clearness, the pointing you in the right direction, okay? When our head and our heart don't match, it becomes chaotic. That's why I say as above, so below. So it has to match. That energy has to be in sync. How do you get there? Along the way, I've learned that meditation, in some way, shape, or form, some of you can't sit still and meditate, and that's fine. That's fine. Get into a state where you, even just for a few minutes, or maybe even write some things out, some things that are on your mind, and look at those words, right? Look at them. There's so many things you can do. I have in the past written down things that I don't want in my life anymore. And then I have did a little ceremony. This is just an example. Light it on fire and let the fire burn away those toxic things that I don't want in my life. And so that helps me to focus on moving past certain things. Envisioning a waterfall to douse a fire, a flame, a potential problem, to kind of calm your own fears. There's so many things you can do to move forward past those energies. If you look online, if you look on YouTube, you'll find meditations guided. Jason Stevenson, when I was first starting out in my spiritual journey, he was key in, I would listen to those guided meditations, and it helped me so much. I still have, we all have, we're always going to have a long journey of removing things that don't belong, because we're beings of light, we're beings of energy. We're going to come into other people's energy that's not so great for us, and we're going to have to cleanse and clear that energy. And so it's important to learn how to move past certain things. And it all boils down to getting into that quiet, that still space, listening, allowing yourself to listen, and to learn how to come to a healthier place and space inside yourself. I want to do the Divine Animal Oracle cards and see what animal is with us today. What animal energy is with us today, guides? Always love to do these cards. They're pretty new, but I like to do these because I feel so connected to animals anyways. And I just feel like we're all on this plane, and we're all in that celestial energy always. So I feel like our connection with animals, the earth, all of those things, it's so important to our journey because we are all energy. What animal energy is here with us today, please? There's a couple. The first one that popped out is the horse. Take action. That's the take action. To me, that's an action energy. The horse is freedom, moving to freedom, making a decision, moving forward with certainty, with clarity, with confidence. And if you notice that horse is white, that is a purification. That's a sign that you have been doing some inner work, and purification is here, and now you're ready to move forward. Anything else? Any other animals with us today, guides? I grew up for part of my life on a small farm. And so horses, I've always had some kind of connection with horses. I just love they're so majestic, right? They're just so majestic. And it feels like they just run so smoothly, and their manes blowing in the wind. It's just beautiful to me to see that kind of, it's almost effortless movement. There is so much loving energy here. I've gotten a couple other cards since I've been talking here, but the red crowned crane pops out. And it feels like cranes amaze me because they have these long, how do I say it? Or maybe I'm thinking of a different animal. They feel very, they don't seem like they're very strong animals, but let me tell you something. Cranes, they know their shit. I'm just going to say that. It feels like cranes, they have this ability to be grounded, but yet they can take off. They can take flight at a moment's notice. And it almost feels like they're so grounded and so confident that they can go from standing to flight in seconds. And that really just amazes me. I feel very much like that's the energy today with us. It's suddenly making a decision to fly to freedom. And that's what it feels like to me. I'm just looking through this book here as I talk, because some things are coming in and it feels very... Let me read you something about the crane, okay? The time has come to re-examine your loyalties. Are you able to be trusted? Keep your word if you give it. Take relationships slowly. And make sure to build strong connections. What promises have you made and must keep? Right? It feels... See what I said about loyalty, about feeling connected to a job or people, certain people, because you feel that you need to remain loyal, but you're sacrificing your happiness, your potential for abundance and success by staying because you feel you have to be loyal. And so it feels like I said with the crane, to be in a position where you feel secure, to suddenly move away from that secure position. And it feels like, let me tell you a story, okay? On a very cold, snowy day in winter, an elderly man was going to town. He had firewood to sell and was walking slowly with a large load on his back. As he walked, he found a crane that was caught in a hunter's trap. He felt he had to help the beautiful bird and released it from the trap. That night there was a blizzard, and the old man and his wife were settled in with a meager meal and a small fire where there was a knock at the door. There stood a beautiful girl dressed in white. "I'm sorry, dear father, to disturb you, but I am an orphan traveling through this area to meet my new relatives, and I'm lost. Would you mind if I took shelter from this storm?" The elderly couple accepted her into their home and allowed her to stay the night, sharing what little they had. The next morning, the snow had not let up, so the girl stayed in the house and returned for their hospitality, cleaning the house and looking after the old couple. She cooked, she cut wood, and she sang songs to them. One day, as she was in the kitchen cooking, the girl asked whether she could stay with them as their daughter rather than go off to the relatives she had never met. The couple readily agreed and were very happy to have such a daughter. Upon their acceptance, the girl asked if they would buy her some yarn, as she wanted to weave some cloth for them. They bought the yarn, and as they handed it to her, the young girl said in a serious way, "I will be working on this cloth for a few days, but I should not be disturbed. Promise me you will not come to my room where I weave." They promised, and the girl worked in the room for 3 days without coming out. When the door opened again, she showed the couple the most wondrous fabric the couple had ever seen. "Please sell it in the village," she requested. "It will get a good price for us." And so it did. With the money they got from the cloth, The couple were able to buy more yarns and more colors, and their daughter again wove a truly magical cloth made with much care. This went on for a short time, with the couple becoming quite well off. The red-crowned crane is a very rare and elegant bird of East Asia. It is migratory and is found in Japan. So a little fact about the red crane. It feels like this red crane energy is leading you to a more sacred, safe, well, I want to say safe, a more sacred, a more sincere connection with somebody or someplace, career, family, friends, whatever it is. It feels like this energy is telling you there is a better place. You're going to find that when you make the decision to move away from your current employment or whatever situation you're in, the door of opportunity will open in the right timing for you to move into something more lucrative, more stable, and more sincere. What I feel here is, I'm going to say it the way I feel, it's time for you to stop holding on to something that's not likely to happen within your career or some kind of thing. It's this crane energy, this story is telling us, it's okay to move on, because the universe will lead you to the right job, the right career, the right maybe business opportunity. You have to trust, okay? Because maybe you have ideas of what you should do, but maybe the universe has different ideas because a while ago you asked for something and the universe is like, I'm delivering it. Where are you now? I thought you wanted this. So in order to have this, that means that you have to leave where you are and move into something more prosperous for you in all ways: physical, mental, emotional, financial, moving away from sadness and into joy, out from under that dark cloud, okay? That's what that feels like to me. And it feels very much like your loyalty is, as a dog is loyal to its master, its forever mom or dad. That's all good. But that doesn't mean you have to stay stuck. It means that you make that decision. You've been there, you've been loyal, but now it's time to move on and be loyal to yourself. Okay? This message is very telling. And so that is your Sunday message. There is something in store for you. There is something better. You've asked for something before, but you forgot or you gave up on it. And the universe is saying, hold on here, honey. You asked for this. I'm presenting you the options now and the path to get to it. So don't deny it and don't say, well, I don't know if I can leave these people. Oh my God, that sounds like me. I don't know if I can leave these people. I've established these relationships. It's scary to move on because I don't know who I'm going to be working for next. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Or, maybe in your case, it's, I don't know how I'm going to get clients. I don't know how I'm going to get this business going. Have faith in yourself. You have it in you. And you just need to believe that and know it, okay? This message, I hope it has made sense. They're collective and not every part of the message will make sense. Sometimes only pieces of it will, and sometimes it'll resonate later. But just so you know, when I give these messages, I am a vessel. And whatever the universe or spirit or your divine creator or your angels or someone that passed, whatever the case is in each message, the energy is flowing through me to all of you, okay? And it is a very, I want to say this too, if something is fated and you don't make a move, you don't make a decision, you don't take action on it, it will be done for you if it's fated, okay? That happened to me at a job before where I know I needed to leave. I kept seeing the signs everywhere, leave this unhealthy situation. And I stayed because I was like, the other thing was I was determined to prove something to my boss who clearly didn't resonate with me, I'll say. And I kept trying to force it, like to be top myself. And I burned myself out doing that. And then when I was finally let go, I realized this is for the best. And I actually felt peace when I left that day, my very last day. So the universe will act on your behalf if something is fated for you. So know that something that is here for you, yes, we have free will to make decisions, but if you ask the universe for something, you put an intention out there, the universe is ready. And the universe is saying, it's time. It's time for you to honor that, because that is a part of your path. So don't be afraid to cut ties with your employment somewhere. It really just feels mostly like this is career. That's what this feels like. For very, very few of you, it could be a relationship, but mostly it feels like work or working relationships. That's what it feels like. So I'm going to end this message now with love and light and let you know the universe has your back, right? So do what you got to do. Make those decisions. Take those action steps, but do it in love and do it in the energy of light energy and the energy of faith and trust. Okay? And like I said, bear in mind that we were created in our human bodies with brains, with intellect to make decisions, but they should be paired with your inner light, your inner voice, and you should be in like energy as above, so below. Mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and that's it, guys. I'm going to end this now and wish you a very blessed day and days ahead. Until next time, which will probably be tomorrow morning. I usually like to do Monday morning readings. Go with light and love and walk in the energy of worthiness, self-confidence, and certainty. Okay? Love all of you so much. Until next time, namaste.